In C++, we have seen lot of data types are available, and for each data type different amount of memory is getting allocated, different number of bytes are getting allocated. If you want to check for each data type how many bytes are getting allocated, then in C++ there exists an operator called as size of. So you can use that operator to check how many bytes are getting allocated for char on your machine, for integer on your machine, for short int how many bytes are getting allocated. You can check it. Usually for integer it is 4 bytes and for character it is 1 byte, but it is machine dependent. It may vary, but usually for integer it is 4 bytes. If you want to check it on your machine how many bytes are getting allocated, you can go for this size of operator, and this is how you can use it. In main method, if you see, before main method we have written this int. This int indicates return type of main method. So we are saying that main method returns a integer data, and hence at the end of the main method we can add a statement called as return 0. Now usually when we write return 0, 0 indicates successful termination of the program, and if it is failure then you can write return 1. So operating system understands that 0 means successful termination of the program and 1 means unsuccessful termination of the program, and hence at the end of main method you will find a statement called as return 0 or return 1. Saving this particular program on my machine by name size of demo.cpp. Now if you want to execute it, so let's compile it, and you know that for compilation we are using statement called as g++, and over here we have to give the name as size of demo, then -o. Now we don't want to overwrite the file by name myhello.o, so here we will write separate name, that is size of demo.o. If you want to execute it, here you can write size of demo.o. You can see that for character on my machine 1 byte is getting allocated, for integer 4 bytes are getting allocated, for short int 2 bytes, for long int 4 bytes, and so on. So you can also try this out on your machine. When you declare a variable, we write data type, we write variable names, but we can also write initialization. So when you are declaring variable, on the same line if you are assigning value to that variable, then this is called as initialization. And if you are only declaring variable, you are not assigning any value to that variable, then it is called as variable declaration. There is a difference in variable declaration, assigning the value, and variable initialization. So usually in your program, if you are creating a variable or if you are declaring a variable and on the same line you are assigning some value to that variable, then this is nothing but called as initialization. But here if I am declaring a variable called as int x and on the next line I am assigning the value to x, that is x is equal to 24, then these two lines are representing assignment. So you can say that if declaration of a statement or declaration of a variable and assigning value to that variable are written on different lines, or these are defined as two different statements, then this is nothing but called as assignment. So here we always say that x is assigned to 24. So this is nothing but called as assignment. Whereas here if I am declaring the variable and on the same line I am assigning value to it, so this is nothing but called as initialization. So here I can write initializing local variable. So this is called as initialization and this is nothing but called as assignment. So here if you check, all these are nothing but variable declaration, whereas all these are nothing but called as initialization. So we have seen global and local variable, and we also have seen the difference between initialization and assignment. So let's look into the variable declaration in more detail. So suppose I am writing a variable called as int I is equal to 23, or if I am writing int I and then I am assigning the value to I as 23. So 4 bytes will get allocated over here and 23 will get stored in that variable, that we are aware. But in C++, they have also created one more type of variable in which this variable is in which we use ampersand on the left hand side of the equal to, right? So we are using ampersand on the left hand side of the equal to. So this is nothing but called as reference variable. When you are writing reference variable, it is mandatory to initialize that variable to some existing variable. So here we are writing int ampersand c is equal to I, which indicates that c is another name given to the same location. So when you are using reference variable, for reference variable no separate memory will get allocated. So it is like this another name given to the existing location. So now location I will be identified as I also, and it will be identified as C also. So here if you see, I am writing C out, and here I am writing value of I, and I am using variable I to display the value. Same way I am using variable C to display the value. You will be able to see the same value. Now if I am modifying the value by using C variable, it will also modify the value of variable I. So I am writing C is equal to 20, and now if I am displaying both these variables once again, then here it will give me the answer as 23. Here also it will give me answer as 23 because C is another name given to the same location. If I am changing the value by using variable name C or by using variable name I, in both cases the value of I and C both will change, because these two are not separate locations but these two are same locations. Now if I try to save this program by name myhello.cpp, and if we try to execute the code. So to execute the code, I am writing G++, and the name of our program is myhello1.cpp. To create an output file, we are using option called as -o, and here we are writing myhello1.o. This will create a executable file, and to execute that file we will have to write myhello1.o here. If you see, the value of I is 23, the value of C is 23, and value of I and C both have got modified to 20 because we have changed the value of C to 20. So if you see over here, we have created a variable I, we have assigned 23 to I, and then here we have created a reference variable C to I. When we are creating a reference variable, no separate memory will get allocated, but this same variable name, but another alias name will be created for existing variable. And at multiple places, whenever you want to go for call by reference, we are going to use this reference variable. That time we will discuss little more about this use of reference variable. As we can use reference variables in C++ or in C also, we can use pointers. So for example, if I am using int star ptr, so pointer is a variable in which I can store the address. When you define a pointer, always read it from right to left. So how you will read it? ptr is a pointer to a location in which we are going to store integer value. So this is a pointer. If it is a pointer, it will allocate a memory location for storing the address and not for storing the value. And hence when you are using pointer, you should store address of existing variable into pointer, or you will have to dynamically allocate the memory by using new. So here if you notice, we are storing address of I into pointer ptr. But have you noticed, while creating reference we are using ampersand on the left hand side, whereas while assigning the address we are using this ampersand on the right hand side of the equal to sign. So this is the difference, and this will help you to understand whether it is a reference variable or it is a address operator, because for address operator also we are using ampersand, and for reference variable also we are using ampersand. But if ampersand is coming on the left hand side of equal to sign, then it is treated as a reference variable, and if that ampersand comes on the right hand side of the equal to, then it will be treated as a address of I. So this is the difference between the reference variable and the address operator. This will help you to identify or to find the difference between whether it is a reference variable or it is a address of a location. So here in this example, if you check, we are using pointer, and this pointer is assigned to a address of a existing variable. But if you don't want to assign the address of existing variable, you can also dynamically allocate the memory for pointer, and this is how you can allocate by using new operator. So if I am writing int new, and in square bracket I will have to specify how many memory locations I want to allocate, then this memory will get allocated into heap area. So what do you mean by heap area? When you are declaring variable, how the exactly memory will get allocated, in which portion of the memory, the memory will get allocated, these things we are going to talk about. If you see this program, and if we execute this code, then execution will begin from the first statement of main method, that is from this function the execution will begin. When you will start execution, this code will first get loaded into the memory, and then we will call that as a process. So program under execution is nothing but called as process, and whenever it becomes a process, operating system is going to allocate memory into RAM for every process. When it allocates the memory available is divided into two parts. One is called as stack memory and another one is called as heap memory. When you declare a local variable, normally the memory will get allocated into stack memory. But if you are using new operator, then dynamically memory get allocated, and every dynamic memory will get allocated into heap area. Now if you want to understand how this memory allocation will happen and how the execution will happen, to see that, let's draw a stack memory over here. So stack, we know that it is last in first out. So suppose this is a stack memory available, and suppose this is heap memory is available for which is allocated to the process. Now whenever execution will begin from main method, a frame will get added into the stack for main function, and this frame will be reserved for all the variables which are available in main function. In main we have declared the first variable, that is variable I. So for variable I, the memory will get allocated from stack region, from this portion which is assigned to main, and this memory location will be identified by name I. Then to I we have assigned the value as 23. So for I, so in I location the value 23 will get written. So over here it will save the value, that is 23. The other location it is going to allocate is other variable we are declaring over here is C. So C is nothing but another name given to the same location. So this location will be identified by two names, one is I and another one is C. After that, if you notice, we are changing the value of C to 20. So 23 will get overwritten by 20, because of which variable I and variable C both are going to give us the value as 20 when this cout will get executed. After that, we are defining the variable which is a pointer, that is int ptr we are defining over here. For pointer location, the memory will get allocated in this fashion. So it will allocate the memory for storing the address, and it will be allocated like this. So this is the memory which is available only for storing the address. If you want to store the value, it should either point to a variable for which the memory is already allocated, or you have to allocate memory dynamically. Now when we will say ptr is equal to ampersand I, PTR will start pointing to existing variable I. But when you are saying new int I equal to 1, the memory will get allocated from heap area. So from this area, memory will get allocated, and now this arrow will start pointing to this memory location. When we will reach to end of main method, our program execution is over, because of which the memory allocated to this process will be deleted by operating system, and hence this entire memory for stack region as well as heap area, similarly our program is loaded in the memory. The entire region will be released by operating system, and that will be made available to other programs. Whenever you are using new operator, there is a concept called as memory leakage. We are going to talk about that concept in further videos.